Alright guys, so welcome to the epilogue files. Here we will read what happened to each person depending on the timeline, but we will get to that as we read this. So we start with Jill. After escaping the city, Jill set out to join Chris Redfield. However, all she found was an empty hideout of Chris's. On the floor was Chris's knife. Jill left without hesitation because she firmly believes that Chris is still alive. She will search for him until she finds him. Then they can go out and put an end to Umbrella. So yeah, that's her plans after the events of the explosion of Raccoon City. So let's move on to Chris. It says he's like sitting somewhere in a city or something, and he's writing down, "Please forgive me, Claire." Chris Redfield has just finished this letter with a signature phrase. As he removes his sunglasses, a lady walks by him with light steps. She looks about the same age as Claire, he thinks. A short time later, Chris discovers that his sister was looking for him, but was caught. This has to do with the next game, Resident Evil Code Veronica, and you'll see that as we go. For now, it was by the time people played this game, when it came out, it was kind of like a secret or something like that, but I guess they had planned ahead of making that game. So now let's go to the third one. Here we have Barryburton. He's hugging, I guess, his daughter. There's his wife and this other daughter. On the first one, I already explained that he has a role that Wesker was blackmailing him about his family, and he was cooperating with him. But in the end, he regretted everything he did, and he betrayed Wesker. But still, he had betrayed his friends, and because of him, there were a lot of casualties. So it says here, Barryburton looks at his young daughters and says, "I'm sorry, but my comrades are waiting for me." He knows that he must repay his teammates for forgiving his betrayal, even if that means leaving his family for now. His wife tries to hide her fear, so she smiles and says, "Don't worry, we'll be okay." So let's move on to the next one. So here we have Leon, who's being interrogated by someone. You can tell that this is basically after the events of Resident Evil 2, because other than that, he was just a rookie cop. So it says here, Leon Scott Kennedy is confronted with a man who claims to be a U.S. government agent. Leon says, "Leave Sherry alone. She's innocent." "She knows too much," the man replies. He looks at Leon and says, "But you have value. This is a good deal. Make your choice." Without regret and hesitation, Leon closes his eyes and then sharply responds. So this is also a teaser for Resident Evil 4, which I will get to after I play Resident Evil Code Veronica. So for now, let's just say that it has to do with that, so keep that in mind. So let's move on to the next one. And here we have Claire, which is right after what happened on Resident Evil 2. This is the reason why I said that it has to be Leon A, Claire B, because right here, let me read this. "Leave us alone." Claire Redfield couldn't believe Leon's words. Leon continued, "You're looking for your brother, right? Just go." Claire knew that Leon and Sherry needed immediate medical attention, but she could not waste any more time. "I'll be back, I promise," she said as she disappeared into the wilderness alone. So the basic reason of why I believe that it's Leon A, Claire B is that when you finish it with Leon B, Leon is like pumped up and he's like in a hurry, let's go beat up Umbrella, or let's go finish Umbrella. And when you finish it with Claire B, she's the one who's like pushing forward, like she wants to find her brother. And in this picture, it confirms that Leon was tired. You know, he was wounded, and they just wanted to go to the hospital, but she was like still thinking about her brother, and he got pissed off about it. So I don't know. It's I think it's a strong theory, but at the same time, I guess developers are in this. They're not really agreeing with themselves anyway, so it could be either one anyway. So yeah. So let's move on to the next one. So here we have Sherry, who's being also interrogated by someone. It says here, do you have any relatives? When the army officer asked her, Barryburton did not respond, for she had no immediate relatives. Her father and mother died because of the G virus. And so this little girl holds herself with her arms and bites her lip tight. She thinks, I'm sure she will come back. She won't forget about me. So she's still thinking about Claire. And basically, we don't hear any more about Sherry for now, at least from the games that I've played. I think it would be kind of cool if eventually she would be like grown up and she would have guns and stuff and shoot with a bazooka or whatever. At least that's my vote. I don't know about you guys. So let's move on to the next one. So here we have Ada. She's still alive, basically. You think that she might have died by the explosion after she threw the rocket launcher to Claire, but fortunately she escaped. I guess that scar, I could say that it's the scar that she got when either you played on different modes, when either Mr. X pushed her back into the machine that caused the auto-destruct sequence, or when she fell when Leon was holding her. So it says here, a woman looks at herself in the mirror. She used to be called Ada Wong, but this morning she will say goodbye to the name. I'm not Ada Wong anymore. She feels her ab and thinks, this is Ada's scar, not mine. And as she says goodbye to Ada Wong, she can't stop her tears. However, there isn't much time left before her next mission. So she's basically gonna still work for her secret agency or whatever she's into. I guess it's kind of like an identity crisis that she's going through. But at least we know that she's still alive, so that's also cool. And there are surprises in the future that I will not spoil for you guys just yet. So let's move on to the last one. So this one is related to the fourth survivor from Resident Evil 2, the extra mode that you unlock if you beat the game with rank A or more, or S. It's a short mini game that you just walk out with a G virus sample. You're basically one of those guys that got attacked by Sherry's father when he was on a rampage. He was one of those guys with those masks, as you can see, those gas masks. So he survived and he escaped. So this is what it says. Oh, and when he escapes, he gets on a helicopter and leaves. That's all there is to it. And that's him sitting there at the helicopter. It says, once again, only you survive, Mr. Death. The chopper pilot speaks with a cold bitterness. Always, only you, only you survive, Mr. Death. The pilot continues, but Hunk does not respond to the pilot. He doesn't care. The Death cannot die. The survivor thinks to himself with a warm smile. So basically, this guy has some experience, and I guess he's alive, but he's also a character that is not mentioned anymore, or at least as far as I'm concerned. So, this is it for the epilogue, and I hope you guys enjoy this extra content. Of course, each picture, you need to finish the game to unlock them, so as you can see, I have unlocked all pictures, and yeah. So I'll see you guys on the next game, and this has been Usumachi. Take care, bye-bye.